Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to go live right here on the Ramon Preston Show. And I am super excited. Today is Friday, and it's a beautiful day here in the Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made, and guess what? We're rejoicing and we're glad in it. I want you to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, tag somebody, lolly dolly, everybody that you know, particularly who needs some information, some education, and some training when it comes to business and finance. I want you to hit the like button, hit the share button, tag lolly dolly everybody, and let them know. Prophet Ramon and the Ramon Preston Show. We are live today right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I need you to do me a few favors. Hit that like button, hit that share button, tag somebody, text somebody, tweet, inbox, DM. If you got somebody in the other room, yell and tell them Prophet Ramon and the Ramon Preston Show is live today. Now, the other thing I need you to do for me is I want you to put in the comments what city you are watching me from, what city you're representing today. It does me and it does our whole community well when we can identify with who you are and at least where you are, so the world can see that there are people who are very interested in business and financial education and training. That will be very appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube page. We are on a journey to get to at least 10,000 subscribers as soon as we possibly can. My goal for this year in 2022 is to hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I need your support. I need your help. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. Invite someone else to join our business community by subscribing to our YouTube page, and be sure to follow me on Instagram, follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on Facebook, which, by the way, if you are on Facebook or when you go to Facebook, I want you to look up the RP Business Community. We have a private Facebook page specifically for our business community, and I would love for you to join our RP Business Community, and just follow me everywhere, every platform. You can find me at Ramon Preston, So welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I'm your host, Ramon Preston, and just in case you don't know, every Monday through Friday, I show up here on this show live, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, to give you information, to give you value for what you are intending to do in your personal life, in your professional life, in your financial life. And today is no exception. I want to talk to you about the benefits of business and financial education and training. What are the benefits for you to be able to get educated and trained on business and finances? I don't think we as people, we as entrepreneurs, we as leaders, I don't even think we as a faith community really take the time to understand how important it is for us to learn and educate ourselves and train so that we can be better off in our businesses and in our finances. The Bible says in the book of Hosea, this is a scripture, y'all. The Bible says, "For God's people perish because of the lack of knowledge." So when we do not have knowledge about certain areas of our life, when we do not have information and education and training about certain areas of our lives, the Bible says in the book of Hosea, he was a prophet, he says, "For my people perish for the lack of knowledge." And if you don't know by now, I want to inform you, we're living in some crazy, uncertain times in this world. And what we have been seeing just within the last 2 years since this whole COVID pandemic has taken place is something that many people have never seen in their lifetimes. And so if you are crunched financially, if you have that fear and you have that uncertainty and you just don't feel as confident about your financial or economic situation as you should, the way to make that difference up is by educating yourself and training yourself. So many people listen to me, and because they do not have the knowledge about what's going on. They don't see beyond the news or the social media outlets and the blogs. They don't see beyond that, and because they are blind to the fact that a lot of people are being crushed and suffocated financially and even professionally. There's a reason why. Just in the month of March alone, over 4.5 million people resigned from their jobs. Now, if 4.5 people in 1 month literally walked away from their jobs, what are they going to do long term for their families? Some of them may have a little nest egg. Some of them may have a spouse that's helping them. But most people who are not working today, even the people who are working today, don't have enough money to live. As a matter of fact, I want you to Google some of these studies and surveys that I share with you. There are surveys and studies that show 8 out of 10 adult Americans, 8 out of 10 adult Americans. So guess what? If you're an adult, if you're over 18 and you're watching me on this live show today, you make up adult Americans. 8 out of 10 of us don't even have $500 saved up. So let me ask you a question. You ain't got to put it in the comments, but you know for yourself, if you're watching me, do you have at least $500 saved up that you don't have to touch? I'm not talking about your deposit just hit last night and you're counting that, but you know you got to spend it Monday. I'm talking about, do you have $500 free cash that you don't have to spend within the next week or two? If you don't, guess what? You make up 8 out of 10 adults. 80% of adults don't have $500 saved. 80% of the people in the United States of America are living paycheck to paycheck, and God knows these surveys and studies show that most of these people cannot afford for anything bad to happen. That means if your tire goes flat, that means if your starter starts acting up, that means if your alternator messes up, that means if somebody breaks your window because they think you had a bag in your back seat, that means if somebody took more money out of your bank account than they should because they overcharged you and now you got to wait 2 weeks to get it. Just one financial incident alone will throw you off for the rest of the year. And here's the thing, you are the only one that can change that narrative. This is one of the reasons why I am pushing it, and I'm really on a major journey and assignment at this point in my life, because I see not just from a spiritual perspective, but I see from an economic perspective, from a financial perspective, that our people, the people that are in our community, particularly the faith community, need it the most. And so for the next few moments, I want you to just open yourself up. Open yourself up to the possibilities of what could happen if you at least received the proper business and financial education and training. I'm not talking about what you've learned in school. I'm not talking about the 2 or 3 classes you took in college. I'm not talking about some of the seminars and webinars that you went to in the past. And I'm not even talking about some of the people that may have hoodwinked you, bamboozled you, or finessed you, thinking that they were helping you when the truth is they were hurting you. We want to move ourselves out of that. I'm talking about right here, right now. Because wherever you are in your financial situation is not where you have to be moving forward. As a matter of fact, most people that I have talked to just within the last year or two are in the same position, if not worse position than they were when I first talked with them. The things that I have been able to experience just within the last couple years, I have literally saw people come and go without putting themselves in play to receive the education and the training that they need. So I want to talk to you about the benefits of business and financial education, and I'm going to extend an offer to you, and there's no reason why you should have an excuse why you cannot leave today's show without putting yourself in play to start educating, to start training on how to be a better business person, how to be a better financial steward, and how to get where you need to be to do what God has called you to do. So many people say things like, oh, money ain't everything. Okay, nobody said it was. They say things like, money ain't gonna make you happy. Who said it was? They say things like, we ain't gonna just be chasing after money and running after the bag. Who said we were? What if we were chasing after purpose? What if we had such missions and assignments and visions and passions to serve our churches and our families and our communities to the extent that we know we're driven to have the financial security to make sure those things can get done? And so we're not going to perish in this season. And all the stuff we see going on economically with the stock market, with the real estate market, with industries being crushed and collapsed. Guess what? We do not have to be a part of that demise. That does not have to be your story. And yes, while it is the worst of times for some, it can still be the best of times for others. And while there is darkness in Egypt, there can be light in Goshen. But you can't just be sitting in Goshen in the light without taking action and making sure that you're doing your due diligence by educating yourself, training yourself to get to your prophesied place and to your expected end. So what are the benefits? If you decided to start educating yourself today about business, if you decided to start training yourself about business, and there are different layers to this education and training, but I'm just speaking in general. What if you started learning on a whole nother level what it is to be in business? What if you started learning on a whole nother level what it is to be financially free, and then started practicing it on a day-to-day basis and having someone like me and people like my team in your corner rooting for you, encouraging you, giving you direction and giving you instructions and giving you resources and tools to help you? Do you think your life would be better off? And here's what's crazy. A lot of people who watch me every day on social media are people who have access to me and to my team, people who are around me. They listen to me, they hear me, they take a little bit here and take a little bit there, but they never fully commit and fully execute. You know why? Because the substance of education and training is not a sprint. You can't jump in and jump out and think you're going to get it. You have to be consistent over long periods of time to be able to see the results. There is something my wife said last night during Bible study that just blew me out of the water. I mean, literally, when she said it, I jumped out of my seat and I started moving around the room because we host our Bible studies every Thursday on Zoom, and my wife just dropped it. But there was an anointing that came upon her, and she felt that God was doing something supernatural. And when she started speaking on it, one of the statements that she made was, enough is enough. And if you're tired of struggling paycheck to paycheck, if you're tired of living in uncertainty, if you're tired of being victimized, if you're tired of always depending on something outside of yourself to make things happen, you ought to say that today. Enough is enough. Because that's what I had to say. That's what my wife had to say. That's what everybody who experiences financial success, business success, professional success, personal success has to say. They all have to say enough is enough. So what would be the benefits if you made a decision to commit today to educate yourself the right way and to train the right way? What would be the benefits if you moved your ego out of the way? If you decided that you were not going to continue to be a victim of your own ideas, a victim of your own limited beliefs, but you was going to put yourself in a position to be accountable, to be educated, to be trained, so you can be successful for you and for your family. Let me give you a few definitions for what this means, even before I share with you the benefits of business, education, and training. What does it mean to be educated? Education is defined as to lead out and to bring up. So to be educated, I want you to hear this, because I know a lot of you have degrees and you done been to business school and you got a business administration certificate and you got a BA in this and an MA in that and a TT in this and a PhD in that. But listen, if what you have from an academic, informational, educational perspective is not making a direct impact in your financial life, if it's not helping to impact your business by allowing your business to grow, it may be good information, but it may not be the right information for the success you want to see. So to be educated means to be led out and to be brought up. The word education comes from the Latin word educare. Educare. It means to lead out, and bring up. So here's what I want you to see. And again, I want you to open your mind up. Don't come into this show or to any conversation with a closed mind thinking that you already know what this person is going to say, or thinking that you already understand. That's pride, that's ego, and it's just a barrier to your success. So again, to be educated is to actually be led out. Now, what are you being led out of? Well, a lot of times when you start getting business education and financial education, the right education, the proper education that will point you to success, it leads you out of the place you have been in based on the old information you had. So a lot of times people will tell me, oh, I know that. Oh, I went to school for that. Oh, I studied that. Oh, I'm clear on that. But the problem is, if all this information and education and training that you have, if it has you where you are, and where you are is not where you want to be financially or in your business, then you've got to accept the fact that what you have is not enough. And maybe what you have is wrong. This is why 8 out of 10 people in the United States of America live paycheck to paycheck. This is why 8 out of 10 people in the United States of America don't even have $500 of cash saved and reserved. This is why 8 out of 10 people in the United States of America cannot afford anything negative to happen. Most of which is not even negative. They can't even do anything positive. They can't go out to eat. They can't stop at Starbucks. They can't take their spouse away for a week. They can't do nothing extra for their kids. You know why? Because the information, the education and training that they have has limited their capacity to be led out. So the right education leads you out and it brings you up. It brings you up. So there's a level of education that you need to bring you up to a different mentality. So you got to be brought up to a place to believe that you can be a millionaire and you will be a millionaire if you have the right education and training. There was a time I used to say to myself, I want to be rich. I want to be a millionaire, until I realized that, oh, I can be rich. I can be a millionaire. But what shifted that for me was the information I started getting. I started reading books. I started doing research. I started studying. I started really training and educating myself. And I went from, man, I want to be rich, man. Oh my God, I wish I could be a millionaire. What would I do? What would my life be like? And that want turned into, you know what? I can be. Man, maybe I can be a millionaire. And then I started training. I started taking what I was learning and putting it into practice. And I got to a point to where the light came on. I went from, I want to be a millionaire, to I can be a millionaire, to, oh, I am. Oh, wow, I'm actually doing it. I'm actually seeing the results. Well, what happened? It began with me being led out of the limited mindset I had. I grew up in poverty. My parents were crackheads. So I lived this life that was always limited. Yes, my grandma who raised me did the best she can, but she was limited in her capacity when it came to business and finances, because her education and training was not up to a standard that could actually break us out. I don't blame her for that. But I take responsibility for myself to understand that I don't have to live in this limitation financially or this limitation professionally. So to educate means to lead out and to bring up. So you got to be led out of the old information. You literally got to relearn. And depending on how long you've lived by these financial principles that you live by, depending on how educated you are and how much you have invested to get what you got today, will determine how long it's going to take for you to get out of it. So you may need a couple years. The truth is, most people who start with fresh education and training need to give themselves at least 3 to 5 years. Most of my programs that I have for my clients and students are at least a year, but most people need at least 3 to 5 years. So what does it mean to train? Training is different than education, right? Education means to lead out. It means to bring up. But to train means to pull. This is what training means. Training means to pull and improve the function. Listen to me now. So when you are trained, I want you to stay here with me. When you are educated, you are led out and you are brought up. So the education means that, okay, I got to start learning. I got to start studying. I got to start listening to the right information. I got to start really getting into the groove of getting the knowledge. And at a certain point, it starts leading me out of the old mindset, of the old beliefs. And I start going from, I want this, to, oh, I can, to I'm actually doing it. And then it leads you out, and then it starts pulling you up. You start talking different, thinking different, operating different. And then the training part of this causes you to be pulled. So now all of a sudden you start getting pulled into your future. Think about it. You could be surrounded by people today who are pulling you back or pulling you down, but they're not pulling you forward. Well, you can't expect for nobody to pull you forward or anything they say to pull you forward if they have not been led out and brought up and pulled into that place first. It's like the blind leading the blind. So your training is going to pull you, but it's also going to improve your function. So now you start moving different. You start operating different, acting different, functioning different. This is what education and training describes. Now let's get into the benefits, because there are two benefits. There are two benefits of education for business and finance. So we want to educate you in your business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're not an entrepreneur and business owner, you might be a minister, a preacher. At some point, you got to figure it out. At some point, you got to figure it out. Like it amazes me, and I say this with respect to preachers and ministers, but it amazes me how many people who are in ministry, trusting God, loving God, serving God's people, who are financially illiterate. They have no knowledge, they have no education and training in business. They don't understand the business aspect of their ministry. They are economically depleted. And most of these people, because I've talked to many of them, most of them will reject anything that has to do with education and training for business and finance, when that's the very thing you're doing and need in order to fulfill your mission and your vision. It baffles me how ministers and preachers and even Christians think. So we come out of sin, we get out of the world, we no longer smoke weed and drink and get high and sleep around, and we cuss no more, and all these things we stop doing, only to start going to church and start making sense of struggling, making sense of poverty, making sense of having just enough and living paycheck to paycheck, only because we have made sense of not doing the work to educate and train ourselves. I'm changing that dynamic. I have already changed it in my life. I've changed it in my family, and I'm looking to change it in so many other people's lives and families and churches and ministries and businesses and communities, but you got to be open to it. So here's two benefits. Here are two benefits to business education and training. The first benefit is that education establishes principles. I want you to write this down if you're taking notes. Education, your business education. Some of you that are watching me today, I'm going to give you an offer that you cannot refuse, okay? I have a Millionaire Blueprint. It's our online training program. We have just added some new benefits to this program. We have a business coaching self-assessment. We just added to it. We're adding 3 new programs within the next month or so. One of our programs is going to be on how to start trust, how to create wheels, and how to create powers of attorney. We're going to have a new course that we're about to drop on our Millionaire Blueprint on how to write and self-publish your book. We're going to show you how to start your own online store. We already have courses on goal setting, financial literacy, real estate investing, starting and structuring your holding companies. We have so many courses. There are over 35 courses on this program, and I want to give you an offer that you can't refuse so that you can start educating yourself. But when you start, what is it actually going to do? Here's the first benefit. It will establish principles in your life. Education establishes principles. Now, why is this important? Because unlike training, education grounds you. So this is what I try to tell people all the time. When you start a new learning curve and you start learning new information and educating yourself about something new like business and finances, what happens is initially you get bored because your brain is not used to that kind of information. Like, for example, if you get a new book and you start reading the book, but your brain is not used to processing that kind of information, within a page or two, guess what happens? You start yawning, you start feeling tired and sleepy because your brain has not registered those principles. They haven't been established yet. But you can close the book, go get something to eat, cut on the TV, start watching Netflix, and find yourself binge watching on shows for the next 3 hours. But I thought you were tired 3 hours ago. You were not tired. Your brain just hasn't established the principles in that particular area. So there's a discipline, there's a process that has to take place. This is one of the reasons why you need to be in a business community like our community, so you can be held accountable, so you can talk to people, so you can converse and communicate with others, so you can do homework with other people, you can share assignments with other people. You need this kind of community. Think about it. When you go to school and when you go to college or anything that you participate in, it's about more than you coming together on the same topic. So your education establishes your principles. These are principles that are going to be established in your mind. Okay? These are principles that are going to be established in your words or your mouth. These are principles that are going to be established in your methods. So what happens is, the more you educate yourself, like literally, you can start educating yourself today. You can start learning today. You can literally be onboarded today and start on a course. And within the next 2 to 3 weeks, your mind is going to start being established on these principles you are being educated on. Your mind is going to start thinking about money differently. Your mind is going to start thinking about business differently. You're going to start coming up with new ideas. You're going to start having things that hit your mind and you like, man, I never thought about that. Well, you never would have thought about it had you not started establishing these principles. So when I hear people say, oh, I want to wait, I'm not going to join right now, and I'm not going to do this right now, I don't need education and training and coaching. What you're saying is, I'm not going to establish a set of principles in my mind, so my mind is going to stay stuck where it is. It never converts over, because only education can convert you over. We perish for the lack of knowledge. Until you get the knowledge, your mind will not convert over. You have to understand that. And then guess what's going to start happening? You're going to start talking different. The moment you hear somebody say something, you're going to be like, oh, no, that ain't true. What you mean that ain't true? No, because I just read that. I just watched that. I just heard that. The truth is this. You got to do A, B, and C. And all of a sudden you realize you know more than what most people know, because your mouth has matched your mind. And then your methods are going to change. Now all of a sudden, things that you start doing with your money or in your business, they start looking different and feeling different, because this education has established these principles. So this is one of the main two benefits of education in business. All right. What is the next benefit? The next benefit is training develops muscle memory. This is very important. So think about it. If you start educating yourself about business and about finances, it's going to start establishing principles in your mind, in your mouth, and in your methods. But then when you start taking these principles that you have established and implementing them in your life, this training starts to develop muscle memory. Muscle memory. It's like you automatically know what to do without even thinking about doing it. This is a big part of your business success and your financial success. Like if you all over the place and you just gathering information and Googling and researching and pulling all this different information together, but you have no comprehensive, contextualized set of principles, you ain't gonna never be consistent in a certain thing. You're gonna keep jumping all over the place. So when I talk to people, let's say one time, and then I don't talk to them for another 3 or 4 or 5 months, and they got 3 or 4 different things going on, it's because they never established principles. They don't know that. They just think, oh, I got a new idea. No, you don't. You never had an idea, because you're not established, because you're not following the protocol of establishing principles. In other words, I'm gonna make it a little easier for you. You gotta decide what information you're gonna believe. You got to decide who you're going to listen to. You got to decide what you're going to go with. And you got to push all your chips on the table and say, I'm going with that. That's how you're going to establish principles, and that's how you're going to develop muscle memory. So where are you going to develop muscle memory at in terms of your training? In your practice, in your performance, and in your progress. I told you my wife said something last night that just, it took me for a ride in my mind. She was like, enough is enough. And I had been feeling like that just personally. I've been feeling like that personally because I know I'm on a spiritual journey of expansion and enlargement and exposure. I feel it. I know I am. I'm on a journey, and I want to take a lot of people with me. But I also know that if the people who want to go along for the ride are not willing to commit to educating themselves, and that means establishing principles on the things I'm talking about, and if they're not willing to train to develop muscle memory, they will not get where I'm going. 4 years ago, when my wife and I was nowhere near financially where we are today. We are financially free. We are blessed. We are successful. Our business is. But guess what? 4 years ago, when my wife and I put a stake in the ground and we said, enough is enough. We're going to be millionaires, and we ain't coming up out of this, and we ain't letting up until we get there. Let me tell you something. 4 years ago, I was talking to some people then that I see today, and they ain't no further along now than they were 4 years ago. They ain't no further along. You know why? Because they didn't want to go for the ride. They didn't want to go for the ride. And I saw it. I knew it because I had the information. I had the knowledge, and I started educating and training and putting this stuff together, and I started realizing, oh, it's something here. I knew God had given me some information. I knew he had given me some revelation. I knew he had showed me this millionaire blueprint. I knew I had figured it out, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going for it. My wife was like, I'm going for it. We had a few people around us that was like, we going for it. And guess what? Life is totally different for us. But I know people who started that journey, who heard the same conversations, who had access to the same information. And 4 years later, guess what? They're still in this never-ending cycle because they never made the commitment to say, you know what? Enough is enough. I got to get it. Because when you get the education, that comes first. It establishes principles. Now you have something to be consistent about. Now you have something to build on. It may not happen in 20 days. It may not change everything in 3 months. You may not see this whole turnaround in a year, but you got to be consistent as you establish those principles, and then you start training. That means you start putting this to practice in different areas of your business and your finances. It may start with your credit. It may start with your spending habits. It may start with you just tracking your income and expenses. It may start with you just implementing this strategy with your business, with your products and services, with your marketing, with your sales. It may just show up in you showing up on a regular basis, listening to me and getting as much as you can and learning the nuances and getting into the rhythm so that your training develops muscle memory. And it's going to create this muscle memory, number one, in your practice. In your practice. It's going to start showing up in how you're moving every day. In your performance. You're going to start performing different. You're going to start performing different. Like, I get so many compliments from people just when they talk to my personal assistant, just my personal assistant alone. They already gonna compliment my wife because they know my wife is a beast. But I get so many compliments of people just saying, oh my God, I could just tell she's just polished and she's around you all the time. She sound like you, she flow like you, she got this rhythm. You know why? Muscle memory. Because she's gotta educate herself. She's gotta train. Everybody around me has, or you're not gonna be around me. Because I'm not going to let nobody compromise and jeopardize my success. I'm not going to let it happen. Practice, performance, and then your progress. So if you want to progress, if you know you want to progress, first of all, you got to get educated. And a part of your education is what I talked about earlier, is about you being led out and pulled up. You got to let go of the old information you had. You keep holding on to stuff that you learned 20 years ago, but it ain't made you a millionaire yet. You keep going off of what you figured out 5 years ago, but it ain't done nothing for you yet. You got to make a decision to say, you know what? Maybe what I have is not the right information. Maybe what I've learned has gotten me as far as I can go. Maybe me doing it the way I do it. I had to make that decision. So I reached a 7-figure life. I reached a millionaire life. And the first thing I said was, man, I want to make $10 million. That's the first thing I told my wife and my team. I'm like, I want to get to 10 million. I don't want 7 figures. I thought I did. No, I want 8 figures because I really want 10. But then when I started doing the math, when I started looking at the bigger picture, I realized that there's no way you're going to get to 10 figures with the information you got. There's no way you're going to get to 10 figures with the training you got. Because remember, when me and my wife made the decision we made 4 years ago to be millionaires, we were already making 6 figures a year. We had been making 6 figures a year for years. Making 6 figures a year for me and my wife, 2 people who grinding every day, who are go-getters, who are just relentless in their pursuit of success and destiny and have visions and missions like my wife and I. We've been making six figures, but we couldn't get past six figures until we got new sets of information, new education, a different type of training, and boom, that thing flipped. And then once it flipped and we realized, oh, you need way more education and training to be a multimillionaire. To get to $10 million, yeah, you definitely gonna have to get more information. And guess what I did? I made the pivot. I found someone who was already where I wanted to be, who's actually a billionaire. And I said, you know what? I'm grabbing hold of that. And ever since I've done it, my wife and my whole team will tell you, before the show, I was watching this individual, listening to him, getting the game, because we have a 3-day event going on, and I'm giving up an hour of my time today to be on here while the event is going on. And once I get off this live, I'm going back on there, unless you reach out to me because you're ready to start your education and training. So I told you, the offer that I'm giving you that you cannot refuse is access to our Millionaire Blueprint. So if you want to start your education and training for business and for finance, we have a Millionaire Blueprint. You may have heard about this program. Maybe you haven't heard about the program, but I would love to have an opportunity to share with you all the benefits that come in this program. This is a virtual program, but it gives you the opportunity to have me to mentor you and to coach you on a day-to-day basis from your phone, from your computer, from your tablet. I mean, think about it. Whatever the topic is concerning business, concerning finances that you need, you can go to the platform, you can log on, you can go to your dashboard, find the program, find the course, find the module, click on there, and give me an opportunity to mentor you, to coach you over the phone. It's simple as that. Now, this is a $5,000 program. We've been offering it for $1,500. $5,000 program. We've already deducted it, and we're offering it for $1,500. And on top of that, we decided that, you know what? You don't even have to pay the $1,500. We're going to give you a 12-month payment plan option so that you can pay it off over the course of 12 months, because we already know if you give yourself 12 months to get on this program and to start educating and to start studying and to start training, I already know you're not going to be on this program for a year and nothing happens in your business and finances. And so this is the offer that I'm extending to you today, that you can get access to this Millionaire Blueprint program for $125 a month for 12 months. So $125 gets you started today. We're not going to worry about the 15 one time. We're definitely not worrying about the 5,000. We just want to get you on the program. We want to get you started. We want to get you onboarded, and we want to make sure that we give you the directions that you need so that you can start succeeding. Now, there are a few new benefits we've added to this Millionaire Blueprint. The first benefit is we have an onboarding module, so that once we get you connected, get you signed up, and get you onboarded, we're going to give you access to this first module. And this module is going to walk you through all the important aspects of this program. We're going to show you how our 5-step millionaire plan can be used as a general guide and template for you, just in case you are ready to start your progress towards being a millionaire. We also have a business coaching self-assessment and a workbook. So there are videos that we give you in our onboarding that walks you through a self-assessment. And there's a workbook that you're able to download and print out. And basically, with this workbook, I'm walking you through our 5-step 80 process. Now, this is our 5-step process that we use for our coaching clients and for our consulting division. But we're offering this to everyone who joins our Millionaire Blueprint, because we want you to have as much of a beneficial experience as possible while you're being mentored by me on this virtual platform. And so this process alone is going to help you, number one, assess your personal, your professional, and your financial goals. So I walk you through a process of how you are to set goals, how you are to qualify those goals and quantify those goals so you can know exactly the dollar amount you need and the dollar amount you want. We also show you how to identify. There are 3 things we show you how to identify: your business structure, whether you have a holding company or need a holding company, whether you have an operating LLC or need one. We show you how to set it up and how to structure it. We also show you how to identify with your brand identity, because if you build a business, you need to build a brand. We want to discuss your brand ambassador. Are you the brand ambassador, or is there someone else? We show you that. On the D, this is for develop. We show you how to develop your products. So you may have certain ideas, but you don't know how to turn them into products and services. We show you how to develop them. We show you how to develop your products so that you can price them properly, how you can package them so that you can present them to the market and start making money. We also show you the I. The I is integrate. We show you how to integrate the most important systems and processes in your business. All of this training we have on this blueprint. So for example, you have to integrate a sales system. So when you do get people who respond to you or reach out to you for your products and services, or when you are reaching out to people, what is the sales process that you're walking people through? Do you have some type of a script? Do you have a step-by-step process to explain your products and services and to show people how they can benefit from your products and services and why they need to do business with you? Do you have a marketing system? Do you have a financial system? Do you have an operational system? We show you how to integrate that. And the E is for execution. So we show you how to execute all of these pieces and components of this process. That's just in the onboarding alone. But there are over 35 courses on this Millionaire Blueprint showing you how to start and structure your holding company. We have tutorials, we have documents, we have forms, we have financial literacy programs, entrepreneurship programs, real estate investment programs, and many, many others. And so I want to give you this offer, and you have to take me up on it today, because I just told my team today, this morning, I've been talking to them because I have new courses and new programs that I'm adding to this blueprint, and this $125 a month offer, it ain't gonna last long. I have competitors right now today. I have pulled up their information. I have done their research, okay? I have competitors who have programs similar to my Millionaire Blueprint, but it don't even come close. They don't even have half as much of the information. They don't even give that much information away. I got clients on this program that have come from other programs that have told me, you don't even charge enough for what you give to us. And my competitors charge anywhere from $7,500 to $15,000. I've seen 3 or 4 different programs. One was $7,500, didn't even have half of the courses I have. One was for $15,000, didn't even have a third of the courses I have. And so the demand is going to continue to go up, and our prices are going to go back to the original price of $5,000, because we're just getting clearance to add an entire course on how to create your trust, how to create your wills, your power of attorneys, your HIPAA documents. This is going to be a very comprehensive program just in the trust and the will space. We also have 2 other new courses that we're adding in the next few weeks. One on how to write and publish your own book, how to start an online store. I take all the information that I have put together and have implemented and I got success in, and I repurpose it in a way that it makes it easy for you. So you could take me up on the offer for $125 a month for 12 months. You don't have to pay the $1,500 up front. You definitely don't have to pay the $5,000 unless you wait and this offer is no longer available. All you have to do is text the word millionaire. Text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. You text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. Now, if you go to RamonPreston.com, if you go to my main website, you can click on our training menu. It'll take you to our Millionaire Blueprint, okay? You want to write that down, Millionaire 404-478-7213. One last thing I want to mention to you before I go. If you go to RamonPreston.com, I'm pulling it up right now. This is our main website. This is our main website. But if you go to RamonPreston.com, and you will see that in the menu, we have links to all of our programs, our coaching, our consulting, our training, our licensing, and our certification. So we have many people who are being coached in our Millionaire Mentorship program. We have many people who are in many of our programs outside of our Millionaire Blueprint. But this is a entry-level program, the Millionaire Blueprint, to get you in so that you can get started, so that the costs are low enough. It's not a burden to you. I mean, you're paying $125 a month. I mean, that's nothing compared to what most programs charge you to give you access to this information. I mean, literally $125 a month for 12 months is somewhere close to like $27, $28 a week. So if $27 to $28 a week is not worth you having access to information that can make you a millionaire if in fact you implement it. It's not guaranteed, but it's up to what you're willing to put in. But the principles are there. The information is there. All of the tools and resources are there. And so if you click on training when you go to RamonPreston.com, it's going to prompt you to our Millionaire Blueprint. You can literally take a look at every one of our courses that we have on here. There are over 35 courses on here. You can click on any of those courses. It will open up to give you an idea of what is in each of these courses. You can open up the modules to see what the topics and the titles are. So you have hundreds and hundreds of courses, of video lessons, of documents and forms, from goal setting, scheduling, from financial systems, to QuickBooks, to creative tax strategies, to holding companies, subsidiaries, filing and forming LLCs, to operating agreements, real estate investing, purchase and sale agreements, letters of intent. We have so much information on this one program, and I want you to get access to it today. So for $125, we can get you started. All you have to do is text millionaire to this number, 404-478-7213. We can get you processed and onboarded today. You could start your education and training today, and you'll be able to take your initial assessment, and this assessment is going to help you go through that 80 process: assessing, identify, develop, integrate, and execute. So I look forward to hearing from you. If you are already in our Millionaire Blueprint, or if you have been a member of one of our programs and you would like to move up to our mentorship program, or maybe you would like to start training to be a certified coach or consultant, we have programs that are available to you. And if you've already been in our Millionaire Blueprint or our mentorship program and you would like to talk to us about moving up, I have a very special extended offer for you. I'm going to extend an offer for you to make it work for you, but you have to reach out to us today, okay? All you have to do is call us at this number. So again, if you have been on one of our programs in the past, or if you're currently a member of our Millionaire Blueprint or mentorship program and you want access to our coaching certification program or our business incubator, we have training modules and programs that are just world class. It's game changing. We want to give you access to it, and we want to show our appreciation to you for already being a part of one of our programs, and we're going to give you an extended offer to make it work for you. So you just need to call us and let us know, I'm one of the Millionaire Blueprint members already, or I'm a Millionaire mentee, or I was on your coaching program last year when you started, and I want to learn more or hear more about or find out about what the terms are for your coaching certification in your incubator. I want to give you access to that, and we're going to make it work, okay? So just call me at 404-478-7213. And if you're not a part of our program, take this offer up today, because that price is getting ready to change, especially once we add all of these new programs to it. So $125 a month for 12 months. $125 gets you started today to all of those courses. Text Millionaire to 404-478-7213. I love all of you. I appreciate all of you. I want you to have an amazing weekend. We are here at the office all day waiting to hear from you. Once you text us the word millionaire, we're going to reach back out to you immediately so we can have a discussion with you, get you processed and onboarded, and get your self-assessment started so you can be on your way to becoming the next Blueprint millionaire. If you're already in our ecosystem, or if you have been a part of one of our coaching or training programs, just call us today so we can share with you about what the offer is for this extended term to get you back in, back on, and back training to either become a coach or consultant, or to be a part of our incubator program. Love y'all. Have an amazing day. I'll see you on the other side of the Ramon Preston